Welcome to the Pimp Your Brilliance podcast with Monique Malcolm, a show about leveraging your existing knowledge, unique skills, or passion to build a thriving creative business. I aim to show you what's really possible when you stop letting fear have all the fun and start taking action towards your goals. You can learn more about this show and subscribe for updates by visiting pimpyourbrilliance.com. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Pimp Your Brilliance. I'm so glad that you're here. This is episode number 114, and you can find show notes at pimpyourbrilliance.com/114. And I am back. Be honest. Did you miss me? Come on. You can tell me. I promise I won't let it go to my head. I won't get a big head on you, but I definitely missed you. I am back from my annual summer sabbatical, summer vacation, if you want to call it that. It's not really a vacation when you have a teen. It's really just a lot of, did you read? Are you going to do anything else besides sleep all day? That was a lot of my summer, but it was nice to have a break, to take some time away from the podcast and just content creation as a whole. And as solopreneurs and creative business owners, we need that. We need to embrace these times where we can turn things off and be cool with doing nothing or doing less than what we normally do. So I hope that you had a great summer. And here we are about to send kids back to school again, which means fall is rapidly approaching. And it makes me think about a conversation I have every single year with my Grandma Coffee. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you know about Grandma Coffee. And I've been toying with the idea of having her as a guest on the show. I still have to figure out how that would work. But you guys need to hear some of the things that Grandma Coffee says to me. She's amazing. But anyway, every year we have conversations around this time of year because as September inches closer and closer, she starts threatening to talk with me less. And we'll be on the phone and she'll be like, girl, I'm not about to talk to you because if we start talking about the holidays, it's going to be New Year next week. And I always laugh it off and we go through this whole thing about, well, you know, when September is here, once Labor Day is here, it's just back-to-back holidays and the people, you know, Walmart's already got the Christmas trees out and the year is over. And she's not wrong. Traditionally, every single year, I feel the same way. Once September ushers in the official end of the summer, it feels like we are on this sprint to the end of the year. The pressure is on. This is when we feel that renewed sense of enthusiasm and urgency to end the year better than we started. And that means trying to crush any lingering goals or figuring out how do we salvage the goals that have gone completely off the rails. They are off track. And then that's adding on top of the nonstop holidays. So if you're somebody who celebrates Halloween and then it's Thanksgiving and then it's Christmas and there's so many other holidays in between that, Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Boxing Day and so many other holidays that I don't know the dates or time frames, but there's so many. And then on top of all of that, couple in with the fall winter seasons, which are tempting us to slow down and renew ourselves because the weather is changing. It's getting colder. We're wanting to be inside more. We're wanting to be more cozy. And honestly, by this time, we're just tired. So, you know, no pressure. No pressure. But in this episode, I wanted to share 5 tasks that will supercharge your creative business for the second half of the year. And if you are a solopreneur, it's important that you plan ahead and prepare for the end of the year because it's coming. So don't wait. Aim to have your plan in place before September starts. And with that, let's get into it with business task number 1, which is to review and set new goals. Now, you should have already seen this coming because by now you should know I'm all about goal setting. I am your goal setting girl. So much so that I created an entire planner dedicated to setting goals and helping goals become achievable over at my e-commerce store, Keep Chasing the Stars. Not shameless plug. But anyway, it's time to think about what are going to be your goals for the remainder of the year. And just thinking back to the beginning of the year, what goals did you set for your life and business? when, you were all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed back in January, what did you plan to do? How have those goals progressed so far? Did you complete any of those goals? And for the goals that you haven't completed, do they still feel relevant and achievable? Meaning, do you even still want to do them? Are they important? Do they matter anymore? If you have trouble deciding on new goals or figuring out whether or not to keep pushing forward on your current goals, you may want to just pull up important metrics for your business and look at the data. Data doesn't lie. So a few areas that you're probably going to want to look at are the money coming into your business and the money going out. Does that feel on track and about what you were looking at or looking for? Website visitors, email list growth, social media followers. These are all things that you want to pull out, maybe put them in a spreadsheet or write them down, compare some numbers from different time periods from this year, and then look for patterns and opportunities. Where do the numbers look really good? And then brainstorm how you can make room for more of that. I didn't even try to get too bogged down in the negative because normally we can figure out fairly quickly what we've done when we look at our numbers and what hasn't worked. But really just taking some time to think about how do I make space for more of what has gone well this year? Once you've done that, you need to decide what your goals are going to be for the remainder of this year. Are there goals that you need to cut out completely, meaning there's not enough time? You can't figure out how to adjust them to fit into the remainder of this year? Scrap those. If you have goals that need adjustments made, how can you adjust them to fit the time that we have left, the resources that you have available? And maybe you've just been crushing things so much that those goals are done. It's time for you to set brand new goals. Right now is the perfect opportunity to do that. Just keeping in mind that your goal is the destination. A plan is what you need to get there. So map out all the possible ways that you can reach your goals and then pick 2 to 3 to tackle and be done with that. Business task number 2, lock down all important dates. What are you going to be doing for the remainder of this year? Are you planning any new product launches? What about vacations or time off? Are there any important events that you're planning to participate in, like craft shows or vendor fairs, something of that nature, maybe conferences? If so, now is the perfect time to block these dates on your calendar. Plans and events that aren't scheduled aren't real. My philosophy is once I put it on my calendar, once I have given it a time and place and it's there, I've added a calendar alert, then that is officially real. As long as it's just living in my brain as a thing that I would like to do, it doesn't exist. And to help myself stay on top of these upcoming dates after I set them, I make sure I set calendar alerts for 30 and 60 days out. That way I don't feel blindsided when I suddenly remember 2 weeks before an event that, this is happening in 2 weeks and I didn't plan for it. So just doing that, calendar alerts, you can even do this for holidays. I find it's just a really great practice because you can free up some mental space by not trying to hold or make yourself remember that these things are there. Because I have found for myself, reminders come at all random times in the day. And most of my reminders come at 3 a.m. And it's like, oh yeah, don't forget that you said you were going to do this thing. And I hate that. So I try to make sure I can offload things from my brain by scheduling into the calendar and making sure I put up calendar reminders. So 30 and 60 days is really a good place to put some alerts. And even if you don't have any upcoming events, it's still a really good practice to leave some white space on your calendar because you can use this as buffer time. So there's time periods where, it's hectic and you want to feel like you want to move at a slightly slower pace. You can do that because you already have that buffer time built in. And if you fall behind, you can feel confident knowing that you can make up that time without a ton of consequences. Business task number 3, take inventory and order supplies. If you sell physical products, if you send client gifts, holiday cards, or any other type of item to surprise and delight your customers, now is the time to take inventory of what you have on hand Because if you think about the past year, I don't want to harp too much on COVID, but if you remember, there have been nonstop supply chain disruptions and there's material shortages in almost every single industry. Like almost no industry has been unscathed. So do not wait until the last minute to order what you need because your suppliers may run out of stock. They could also be experiencing shipping delays. I know a lot of the major shipping carriers are not doing guaranteed shipping deliveries like UPS, FedEx, those companies are saying, they're experiencing delays throughout their industry. So they are not guaranteeing delivery times at this moment. So go through all of your products or goods and decide how much you're going to need, especially to get yourself through the holiday. If you have bestsellers or there's certain items that take a while to get to you from your suppliers, make sure you order what you need and then probably top it off with a little bit extra, having a little bit more than you think that you need. Just in case, I would rather have a little bit more of something and the potential to have another sale or promotion than run out and have to try to order things, especially at peak season. And do not forget about restocking packaging supplies. Think things like boxes, tape, stickers, tissue paper, all of those things that make your packaging look amazing and beautiful. Don't forget to inventory that and order new supplies for that. This is not the year that you want to leave anything to chance. So order everything early. Business task number 4, plan for Black Friday and holiday promotions. Now, hear me out. I know there are so many schools of thoughts on Black Friday. Should we participate in it? Should we not participate in it? Is it promoting consumerism? I'm not here to debate that. All I'm saying is that the holidays always seem a lot further than they actually are, and you don't want them sneaking up on you. The end of the year, as I've said many times, is just very, very busy. It's full. We're doing all of the things in just like 4 months. So if you sit on it and you blink, you're going to be at January 1st before you know it. And if you go ahead and plan your holiday promotions for the entire holiday season, for the entire Black Friday weekend, you're going to be able to free up some mental space. So here's what I suggest that you do. Choose which holidays you want to participate in. Pick the dates of your promotions, and then decide on your special offer. Once you've done that, make sure you get them on the calendar, put them in your project management system so that you know, and then be proactive by creating all of the promotional content that you're going to need for those things. So this includes themed images, sales emails, landing pages, discount codes, and posts for social media. Once you have all of that created, schedule all of the emails and the social post. Then all you need to do is set a calendar alert to remind you when those promotions go live so that you can keep an eye on them. It's not quite set it and forget it, but it's pretty close. And this will just make you feel so much better once Black Friday rolls around and you're not scrambling to get everything together. So spending a few days prepping your holiday promotions in August will help you feel less frazzled during the busiest time of year. And dare I say, you may even be able to enjoy your time with family and friends while also making some money. Business task number 5, plan your content calendar for the remainder of the year. Now, this task piggybacks off of the previous one because it just takes your content planning a step further. So we're trying to supercharge your creative business. So why not go ahead and just plan out your content for the remainder of this year? Your content is your discovery tool for your audience. I've talked about this, building your content cake. You are wanting to make sure you are getting discovered by people who are searching for what you have to offer. That is truly what your content is for. It's to help your ideal audience, your ideal customers find you. So now is a great time to start thinking about how your content can help you achieve your goals for the rest of this year. What type of content can you create to help your audience know, like, and trust you? Start generating content ideas that are going to drive your ideal customers to your products and services. So when you're planning your editorial calendar for the remainder of this year, consider your chosen content publishing platforms and your posting frequencies. What I mean by that is, what is your main content platform? Which supporting platforms are you going to use? And then how often will you create and post content on them? This is just simple math. Once you have already figured out your content platforms and your posting frequency, you're just going to add it up and see how many episodes, how many blog posts, how many social media posts you need to create. So if you publish a weekly podcast, count the number of weeks left in the year. That's how many episode ideas you need to come up with. Do the same thing for your newsletters and other content that you create. Social media, it can be a bit more cumbersome because usually our posting frequency is more frequent. We're not just doing once a week, and you may be posting on multiple platforms. So just try to come up with a good estimate of how many posts you'll need. This is not the time. Let me say it again, because some of you like to do the most. This is not the time to commit to posting daily if you're not already doing that. Be realistic. If you can commit to 2-3 times a week, do that. Count up the numbers that you need and commit to that. Do not do any more than what you realistically can commit to. And if you are someone who really struggles with coming up with content ideas, that content idea well has run dry, experiment with using a monthly theme as the basis of all your content. Again, simple math. Take your theme and break it up into 4 different angles that you can discuss about this topic. For example, a monthly theme on time management could be turned into podcast or blog posts similar to these. How to plan your week. The number one time management mistake you don't know you're making. Changes I've made to better manage my time. And my favorite time management tools. As you can see, one theme, 4 different angles that we can discuss it. And I'm pretty sure you can come up with even more ideas than those. You don't need to batch create all of this content right now. What I would like for you to do is start assigning publishing or go live dates to those content ideas. Then work backwards to develop a timeline for creating that content. And once you do that, you just have to follow your plan. So if you can get 1 written a week or 2 written a week, just reverse engineer the time frame that you need to get it all done and start getting it scheduled. The bottom line here is that we're headed into the busiest, most hectic time of the year. This is when so many solopreneurs and creative business owners are feeling most tired and they start to experience burnout. I know for me personally, October is really when I start feeling that energetic slump. And my goal is to do as much as I can ahead of October to prepare for the final 3 months of the year, because it's going to be December and then it's January, and you feel that push, that enthusiasm to start the year fresh and hit the ground running. And it's really hard to do that if you're already tired from the previous year. So doing these 5 tasks will free up some much needed mental space and allow for more ease going into the holiday season. So do not put these off. Do that work now, and then you're going to be able to reap the benefits for the remainder of the year. All right, quick recap for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, you said so much. What do we talk about? Task number 1, review and set new goals. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I am certain if you look in the podcast archives, there's plenty of stuff in there about goal setting. Task number 2, lock down all important dates. Schedule them, get them on your calendar. Task number 3, take inventory and order supplies. So don't put this off until October. Order your supplies and your inventory now. Task number 4, plan your holiday promotions and Black Friday right now. So do not wait to get those done. Just go ahead and get them planned, get the content created, schedule them, let them run, flourish. And then task number 5, plan your content calendar for the rest of the year. This just frees you up from having to generate new ideas at a time when you're probably going to be most tired. So go ahead and get that done and get your calendar created. So that is what I have for this episode. You can show your support for Pimp Your Brilliance by leaving a podcast review in your favorite podcast player, sharing a screenshot of this episode on your favorite social network, or buying me a coffee over at pimpyourbrilliance.com/coffee. Any of those 3 ways would be much appreciated. So until next time, go out there and pimp your brilliance.